Hi there. Can I just start by asking a favor? Would you subscribe to this new history channel on YouTube that I am creating? I love to explore. You probably already know this. I love exploring history. And the thought occurred to me it would be really cool to take you along to some of the places that I go. And so I've got a goal of trying to reach 100 subscribers, and it would be much appreciated. So, where am I today? I am standing literally right by the vehicle that President John F. Kennedy was sitting in the day of the assassination. It's on display at the Henry Ford Museum in Michigan. Here is an image from that day, and it says right here on the display, it was actually used for many years afterwards. That was November 22nd, 1963, and it says it was used from 1961 to 1977. You, of course, remember that it was a convertible. Well, after the assassination, the Secret Service took charge and decided to harden the vehicle. That's why it has this hard top on the back. But right there is where President Kennedy was sitting and the First Lady. And here's the back of the vehicle, as you can see, modified for Secret Service agents to stand right there with the handles on the vehicle as well. So that vehicle on display at the Henry Ford Museum with some other images from the times that JFK was riding. There's another car. This was considered so sleek and really modern when it was put into service back in 1961. You have to be about my age, I would say, to be able to just answer the question, where were you when you heard the news that President Kennedy had been assassinated? I was in first grade, and I'll never forget one of the earliest memories I have coming in from recess outside. We all came into the classroom, and I'm 6, and I think, adults are invincible, and there is my teacher, Miss Valerio, crying at her desk. Well, she basically had told us right then and there that the president had been shot. And I'm 6 years old and I'm trying to process it all. She said school was over and our parents would be coming by to pick us up. And all of us, our little 6-year-old minds, were trying to kind of navigate through how something like that could even happen. You go back in time to 1865, almost 100 years earlier, and President Lincoln, the man I really consider to be our greatest president, was assassinated. Here at the Ford Museum, they have on display, if you can imagine this. So I just showed you the vehicle that President Kennedy was in when that assassination happened. And here at the Ford Museum, they have the chair that Abraham Lincoln was sitting in, still with the blood stains on it. I'm going to show it to you in just a moment. Literally just steps away from the other display that you saw. No place else in the country would have, I think, any kind of display along these lines. Here we go. That is the actual chair President Lincoln was sitting in, April 14th, 1865. And it says right here, this is the actual chair in which he was assassinated, originally located in the special box for the president at Ford's Theater. Then it also says here, ironically though, he was assassinated in this chair. It represents the life of this extraordinary individual and his complete devotion to the pursuit of America's founding principles. Part of the story of this chair is that it was actually used as evidence in the trial of the conspirators of the assassination conspiracy. And so after that, it went into storage, if you can imagine, at the Smithsonian, wherever they've got their storage, for decades. And then finally in 1929, it was put up for sale, and they bought it, or Henry Ford had someone buy it for him because he so appreciated Abraham Lincoln as our president. They then have had this on display ever since then. I believe it sold for just a few $1,000s, and yet is such a poignant piece of our American history. And it is steps away from the vehicle where President Kennedy was assassinated in 1964. So, 101 years later, these two pieces of history tied together, and I wanted to share that story with you. So, again, thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me here. This is a pretty somber and frankly kind of sacred space, if you ask me. The fact that there is this direct connection to two of our American presidents in the last moment of their lives. Thanks for spending some time with me and for sharing this story as well.